Good morning. Hope everybody's fine this fabulous day. I'm gonna power my day out with some Red Bull, full fat. Yeah, none of that non-sugar stuff for me. I need a full load today. You know what I mean? You know why? Because I work 14-hour days, man, and I keep going. So cheers to you all. In this video, as I've alluded here in this cool little PowerPoint presentation, is how much do I get paid with AZ500? So in this video, we're going to cover off what I see the market paying when you get security knowledge and security certificates. I found two examples, one permanent, one contract, and then we're going to compare overall the whole job market. But before we do that, I want to shout out to my man Edward Wilkins. The guy is crushing it, ladies and gentlemen. This guy is going through strength, passed more exams, just passed PL 900. I mentioned him previously in my other video. I can't remember. Yeah, I just passed the SC 900. But he's got a really good point here, and that's this. All of the exams are really adding to my understanding of cloud. Each previous exam helps me pass the following one. And that's key to passing this. That's why it's very important for you to understand what route you want to go down and to just stick with it and see it to the end, because each exam compounds onto the next exam, specifically in Microsoft, I find. So when you learn the basics like AZ500, it helps you propel your understanding and knowledge to the next exam, in line with security, of course. You know, when you do with DevOps and development and everything of the sort, it's the same thing. So start, don't try to run before you can walk. Crawl, then walk, then run, then gallop, just like what my man here, Edward, is doing. So anyway, cheers, Edward. Thanks for giving me a shout, man. Yeah, so getting back, how much do I get paid with AZ 500? So the market fluctuates, right? And right now it's very buoyant here in the UK. I can only speak for the UK market side of things. I can't speak for anywhere else. And what I've seen is this. So IO Associates, very good recruiter. I got placed with them with a few rules before. Very, 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 very good place. And I find that they don't actually troll the job boards for CVs. So I do feel that this is a legitimate um, job role that's available on the market for contract, because I've dealt with them before. They're really legit guys. Uh, Jake is posting this one. James, I've actually spoke to before. Anyway, here you go. This is more aligned to like when you get the AZ500 and the MS500 certificates. And it tells you things here that you've got Azure Sentinel, Microsoft Security Products. So that'd be like Key Vault, Azure Security Center, all these sort of things. Also, Azure Front Door. Those are all things that you need to know for security aspects. I don't know all the rest of this talk here into a SOC. You could Google all this stuff and just basically what it is. But, one of the things that makes me chuckle to myself, and this is not any reflection of the I was going to say estate agent, but not this job recruiter, is that when they say 5 years experience in security-based roles, to be honest with you, if you've got 2 years security and you've compact, you're good to apply for this job. You don't have to say, well, I need 5 years experience. Just apply for 2 years experience. Have a bit of confidence, apply. And if they get you into the door and you have an interview and you have a good shot, give it all you can. And these guys, you probably land the job. But the point being is this: it's £600 a day. So £600 a day. It doesn't say if this is in IR35, but regardless if it's inside or out IR35, I would say for sure that's a really goddamn good rate, man, for 6 months. That's not bad. And it's working from home full time. So your expenses are going to be low and your profits are going to be high. So this is good. So to answer your question, does having AZ500 give you the chance and the ability of landing a job? Yes, it does. It may be say that it's not desirable or not essential, but it does help. Why? Because AZ500 will give you the knowledge, and having the certificate gives some sort of weight in regards to another candidate. Because another candidate, if they pitch the same like for you, but they don't have AZ500, but you do, you're going to actually be in more favor with getting selected. Trust me. I've hired a few people. That's the process that HR likes to take. Let's compare a permanent role. Now, cloud security engineer. This is quite broad. This is not, it's not specific to Azure, but let's take it for example. And what's really funny is that £600 a day, if I compare it to the contract role, will give you far more exceed than this role at 110 for permanent. So, but look at what they're asking for. Not a whole great deal, but in a permanent, they're asking for everything underneath the sun. And which one will you prefer? You know, it's just like, well, how do you prefer to be rewarded? Because this is a lot of stuff to be working on. Anyway, so would it give you a decent salary having AZ 500 or some sort of security knowledge within Azure? Yes, it'll give you a decent salary, 80 to 110,000 pounds per annum. I do not know this recruiter. I don't know if they're harvesting CVs. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you, because I haven't actually talked to them. But usually I find it very suspect when somebody's actually trying to troll for all of these items here. But point being is, we wanted to know how much it'll pay. It pays 80 to 110. It's a good piece of change. Before the pandemic, I did see or hear about, I was just going to place that there already. Look, F1 guys. I did hear and I did see about permanent roles paying up to like 180 to 200,000 pounds. Security is definitely something that's highly essential, highly important for your organization if you're running anything in cloud that's internet facing, whether it's behind a public IP address, private IP address, if you got it in front of web application firewall, it doesn't friggin' matter. Security is a must because the threat exists on two sides, outside and inside. Inside, probably more so than outside, because if I was a hacker, the first thing I want to do is try to find someone who I could target on the inside and get some sort of means to get leverage. So security is definitely something that, you know, most or lots of organizations are going to need to know, especially when it comes to betting sites, you know, or anything that you come to like payment. You're going to need to know how the hell to secure places. Oh, here you go. I found something probably a little bit more interesting and probably more relevant to today. Well, look at that. So 80 to 150K, cloud security engineer for a fintech. That's okay. That's nice. That's decent, isn't it? And DevOps CI/CD pipeline. Ooh, we want a piece of that. And then you got like the technical jargon stuff for like the industry of security. You know, I just Google that stuff and just recite it and say, do you know ISO 2001? You just recite it. They go, yeah, that would do. That's how I usually roll with that stuff. Software defined lifestyle, blah. I don't know what that means. But again, Google the hell of it and you'll find out. Pretty good. I kind of like working for fintechs. I'll tell you why. They want the new technology and they want to be able to say, right, we wanted to be, and no expense, you know, they got the money there to invest in good tech. You know what I mean? But it's a fast-paced environment. You got to learn quick. You've got to learn how to drink from fire hydrant, is what I've been told majority of times. But there you go. You know, I've answered those two questions for giving you real life scenarios in today of, you know, 2021. Where are we? June. And those are two live roles. But let's compare the market overall. So I tend to go to IT Job Watch, and IT Job Watch should give me an overall feeling and understanding of like, you know, how the whole market's doing on the whole. So if I look, I typed in here, Azure security, I could type in and do some other stuff, but I'm not. I'm just going to keep it simple. We can see it's down by 85 points. I guess that's what that means. But the average is £750 a day for a senior security architect. Senior security consultant is 725, £25 or 25 points, you know, below the original one. But if you're going into security, it's going to pay you some really good dosh, man. Security architect. Let's see something if we got probably more Centennial. You know, I try to look for something more aligned. Microsoft Azure Machine Learning. Okay, maybe the security behind that. But you know, if you're going to go into security, it pays well. Is F500? Will it help you land one of these jobs? Yes. Why? Because it gives you the understanding of what Microsoft security platform or components there are. So that's contract. If we go for permanent, what do we have? Enterprise security architect, senior, lead security, head of security, head of, nothing specific about Microsoft is yet, but you know, I'm sure if I were to click into something there, Azure Key Vault, let's go for that. Look, if you know Azure Key Vault, it'll pay you 80 grand, up by 28 points. How you like that? Azure Architect, lead security architect. Yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a boom in security. And I'll tell you why. Usually, if I see that contract rates are paying higher than permanent rates, that's probably because there's some sort of peak or demand in the market. And this proves this point here. You know, there's erraticity when it comes to contract, and then there's some sort of demand for all. So gray is permanent, orange or whatever you call it, contract, and this one here is all. All seems to be pushing up the marks. Wow, look at that, 800 pounds. Not bad at all. So there you go. Let's conclude this really and wrap things up. Will is F500 help you land a decent job? Yes. Where will you be able to get a decent job? Wherever you want, really. It's, to me, security is an element for everything. Everything and anywhere requires security. So if you're going to get into it. But don't get into it because of the money. Now, here's a tip for me. Anytime that you actually change your life, your role for money, what you'll probably find is that if the role is not interesting, you're getting the money, you're going to feel as though that you have sold your soul to the devil. Don't. If you're going to get in security, get into it because you find it interesting. If you're going to get in security because you find it challenging and you have a passion for it. Okay, it's kind of hard for our passion for some people, but the point I'm trying to make is really, really simple. Don't get into the industry because for the money, because if you do, what will happen is you'll probably be feeling as though that you're lifeless or you have no motivation to do anything regarding security or the job that you're in at all. So anyway, that's for me. I've covered all the basics. I've given you everything of knowledge that I can probably have. Am I in security? No. The way how I use AZ 500 is that if I'm doing anything in regards to DevOps, designs, or anything of the sort, having AZ 500 in the back of my mind makes me realize of how to actually secure my environment moving things forward. Because if you're going to be in DevOps or if you're going to be in SRE, you need to know how security element fits into that and help the business push a better process through. So I hope I've helped you. And if I have, subscribe and like. Reason being is because you don't want to miss these videos because I'll give you more insights as to what I find in the industry, especially in England. See you soon. Take care. I gotta go and do the day job.